Welcome to this financial abundance webinar. I'm going to explain to you why you struggle financially, why you are in the same place you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even right back to your childhood. I'm going to lay all the cards out and give you some information to show you why you do the same old dance, why the universal laws are rewarding you. You might not think they are. You might think that life's unfair. Well, I'm going to break it down for you. So stay tuned, and then I'm going to give you some ideas that you can implement to shift this struggle. Now, why am I qualified to speak on this? Well, my name is Marisa Russo. I'm the founder of Forensic Healing. I look at energy fields, and whatever's in your energy replicates, attracts, creates. And I have come from a childhood of abuse, of low self-worth, of emotional abuse, physical and sexual. I've had to overcome dark night of the soul many times. My soul's been bound up on the matrix. It's been, I feel like I've gone through everything. And there's nothing I will not try or do that takes my soul off this matrix, frees my soul, makes me be a creator and an empowered woman who also runs a successful business. But I feel like if we're to look at society, what I do is undervalued and underrated. So not only am I a woman, I'm also in an industry that generally society doesn't place a lot of value on. So there's a lot of things that I've had to overcome, and now I'm a highly paid therapist, and I have shifted from working from somebody else to now running my own business for the last 10 years. And I've gone through all those struggles. I've seen my own patterns. I've seen other people's patterns, and I'm committed. I'm committed to being free, because there's nothing that I want more in this life than is to have a free soul. There's nothing more important to me. So I've worked it, I've challenged it, I've overcome. So that's where I'm coming from. So you might want to stay tuned and follow through some of the things I'm going to talk about. Some of the things you may have heard of, but you haven't really applied them. You haven't really looked at it in a way that you need to be conscious. All right, so do you struggle in your finances? And you'll have a pattern with them. It'll be like some people talk about how they make money and then it just goes right out again. Or they say that they're always in a struggle with money. Or they might say they always just make ends meet. Now, all of this comes from energy, belief systems, and generally how you're being programmed. So that's why I'll go back. Let's go back to your childhood. And in that childhood, you'll see everything that programmed you. You need to look at this. Well, women need to look at what did their mothers do? What did they say? How did they act? How did they value themselves? Because as a child, and you're a girl, you will look at your mum and go, okay, that's how I need to view myself, that's how I need to place value on myself, and they're your role model. So you look at that, and a lot of women do struggle to make money because they don't see the value in themselves. They can be good at making money for somebody else, but if it came to making their own money and placing the value on what they do, they struggle because they undervalue themselves. Recently, I had a girl in one of my classes, and it was just perfect. I'll never forget this one. There's a lot of healings I do forget, but this one I remember because I thought, there it goes. That she said her father would say, don't worry, it will work out. I don't worry about money. It will work out, when she was a little kid. So she heard her father not stress, because say, well, you know what? The universe will supply, it will provide. And she, probably I think she's around 40, and she said, well, no, that's just exactly how it does provide for me, and that's what I say. I say the universe will provide, and it will all work out. And it always does, she said. So I thought, the program has replicated in a good way that she's always provided, and the money always turns up. So basically, I just thought it was brilliant because it was merely a belief system that creates exactly what she believes. It proves her to be true. So this is why you need to have a look at what you really believe and how you look at money. And every moment you look at a bill and you go, oh God, I don't have the money to pay that, or I can't afford that. Well, you are just keeping yourself on that little hamster wheel. You're just rotating and back on it. As soon as you put the same energy that you had about money, again, you replicate it, you keep rolling over, and you stay eternally in the same state of your finances. So that's what I always go back. I always go back to this blueprint. And you'll see, well, men in general find it easier to make more money. They value themselves more, and they see their fathers do it. Hence why it's replicated. Well, that's what you need to pull apart. You need to pull apart and look at, okay, so where did it stem from? Like, I've got a client and he's wealthy, no issues, but he has other issues. And I go back to his childhood, and there he was. His parents had money, but his childhood was horrible. It was terrible. He was sent away. He was abused. And then what he did was put his energy into playing sport, being a leader. And then I mapped this out for him as a child. I go, okay, so here you are. I do crosses. I go, black crosses are all the negative things that happen to you, and all the hearts are all the good things. And so I map it out and I go, here's you as a kid. Now let's take you to where you are today, and then we'll take a look at that. And then we just go, oh, replicated. Instead of you now doing sport, you now put all that energy into work and get your success that way. But everything else is totally the same. Disconnection here, and until you have a look at it, until you know yourself, nothing's going to change. You might be 60 now, and you might go, yeah, I'm the same place I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Well, what did Einstein say? You can't solve a problem with the same mindset, because your mind put you where you are. Now, look, it's not your fault because you're brought up like this. You didn't choose to come into this environment, or did you? Who knows? Well, either way, you now have a choice, and this is your opportunity to spiritually grow. If you look at money, it's just an energy. It's just an exchange of energy. So I look at it like, I actually looked at the science of money, finances, who's wealthy, who's not. And the science is really obvious today, and the science works even better than it used to. Why does it work better? It works better because the energy is free to manifest. For instance, what works better now is good karma. So if you have good karma, well, then you can, cash in your good karma. Go, you know what, universe, I want to cash in. I've got a whole bucket load of greed and karma sitting in my bank account. Let me cash that in. You need to cash it in. You need to know, because universal law, which are becoming more congruent. I used to go, their laws were kind of corrupt in a way, because they're sort of like on the matrix. It's a bit like the banks are corrupt and all this kind of stuff. So, but now things are coming off the matrix, institutions and just energy itself, in a way that things are becoming, now it's more fair. So you can say, cash me up. I want to cash up, and I want my green stuff. Give it to me, because you know what, I've been a good person and I've been working and giving. Now, so I just want you to change your mindset and just go, you know what, I'm good. I'm a good person. The other thing is, if you do give away your time and your effort and who you are freely without asking for anything back, when you struggle financially, you're saying that I don't value myself, and the universe goes, yeah, no worries. You don't value yourself, and so I will give you exactly what you're asking for. You tell me, you'll do things for nothing, you don't expect anything back, or you do it and people are just taking advantage of you. That's what you say yes to. So therefore, I will make sure that you don't get compensated. every choice you make and everything you do about your finances keeps you in an energy. Now, all right, I'll ask you this question. How many people have you asked that are successful? Have you said, so tell me then, who are you? How did you get your success? What would you say? How does this work? Have you ever asked that? Have you ever said to someone that you admire that's done well? Well, if you did, you'll find that there's a couple of things that will happen. You'll find that they probably had good role models. It's easier if you had a good role model that made money. That's so much easier. Another thing you'll see is people invested in how to educate themselves, how to grow themselves. And I see this it's the same, like I'm talking about finances, this is the same in relationships, the same in your health, this is the same in self-worth, your career. So everything is paralleled. The same theories and philosophy can be applied. Because I'll tell you this much, someone that's either no money or someone that's got terrible health or a low self-worth, they never invest in themselves. They just decide not to. They'll just go, oh no, I can't afford it, no I can't, whatever. They make an excuse why they don't deserve it. So that I see consistently, and it's, they don't take a risk in going, well, you know what, I've got nothing to lose. Now I'll tell you those that do are successful. So we will to ask these people go, well, I learned and I watched how other people do it. I went and did courses, or I got mentored, or I read books, or I educated myself, and I invested energy in me. So if I'm investing energy in me, then it's investing in my business or in my life. And it's an investment saying, I'm worth it. You say, I am worth it. And I learned that from, you see, I've been mentored by a guy, by men. They've mentored me, and I watched the difference in how easily they transition into the business world and women struggle more. And I look at their mindset, and I look at how they look at the bottom dollar, and they don't get emotionally involved in the back end. They go, no, it's a business. And because if they do, your business suffers. If you start going, well, I'm a charity, we end up working like a charity, which a lot of people like to think that because you're offer spiritual services or energy services, that's what you should be, a charity. In fact, and I'll say to somebody, well, I find that quite offensive that you would think that I should be a charity, because here I am, I would struggle more than most people because we're not valued and we're not recognized like other businesses. And I would think that you'd want to support the very fact that I'm trying to break through the glass ceiling and trying to say that we're worth it. But you, who are in the industry, even pull me down. And so I won't buy it, because if I buy that belief system that here I am, I'll say that isn't actually very spiritual, because you're not very fair to me. You want my service? Well, you buy it. Well, I would think that if you go buy something in Myers, you wouldn't, and wear it, you won't go take it back. So I have this mindset that I need to value myself, and I'll value my services. And I believe in myself. And I've struggled to do that, yes, and it's this journey. You just don't wake up and go, today I believe in myself, although you could say that, which is great, and go, I am full of self-love. I'm loving myself. I can't get enough of myself. Well, sometimes I'll say that. I'm just going, yeah, I'm like, I will. I'll like talk myself up, and I believe it. I totally believe in myself. But yeah, so you could do that. And then you get to the point where you do believe it. So I'm at the point where I do believe it, because I've looked at all the things that I've moved from getting out of my comfort zone, which is staying comfortable, which means, you just don't change. And you go, oh, I don't want conflict. Oh, I need to like take care of them first. No, let them have it. No, I don't want to, value myself. All of those things. Well, I've moved through it because I've realized if I allow people to do that to my energy, that will filter back to my business, back to me, back to my life, and I say to the universe, you know what, I'm not of value. Although it's uncomfortable, you just surrender to getting uncomfortable. Just go, I am willing to be uncomfortable. Because that means you're changing. Because if you want more, you have to be more. So this is the science. And if you looked at smart people or people that actually, succeed, they go, you know what, you've got to follow the formula. And behind the formula is all these things. Value yourself. Do not compromise in the way of thinking someone else is running your business. You are running your business, and you take pride in it and value it. And don't compromise in the way that, compromise in the way that a lot of people do. I find that they don't succeed in a business. They fail. So I'm kind of talking about, okay, business, but even if you're working for somebody, when you value yourself and go like, I'm amazing, and you shift this mindset, you're the one that gets the promotion. You're the one that gets offered the job. Someone headhunts you. Because I often headhunt people. I'll go, you interested in working for me? When I just see them, when I've dealt with them, I thought, boy, that'd be an asset to my company. I'd like them working for me. So I often, that's what the energy is. People feel it and they see it, and surprises happen. And that's how these things, when you stop like going, give me the money, I need the money, it's when you just go, I'm going to shift. So you really have to know yourself though, because it's pulling yourself apart. It's like, oh, this is what I'm like this, I think this is what I'm saying in the morning, this is what I say at lunchtime, this is what I say when this happens, this is how I feel. You have to know yourself. So you go, you know what, because when I do, and then you need to see what is not showing that you are grateful for abundance, or you want abundance, or you are abundant. Because if you're not feeling it, you are investing energy in tomorrow. If you don't feel it, which you don't, if you don't have abundance right now, you're not feeling abundant, because that's how it matches. And you can't say, I'll feel abundant when I win Tats Lotto. You have to, it's universal laws, right? And to do it, to change who you are, to change the whole feeling and to be conscious is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And I feel like I've torn my heart out. There's nothing I haven't done to go to the depths of hell, really. That's what I feel like I've done, especially that recent ayahuasca to remove suffering from my body, to do it. And I now, like, it's just shifted me completely to a new level of freedom. And it's so amazing, because I've had suffering in my body my whole life. My past lives are all of suffering. And it's like my soul finally, and it's woken up with a real, I'm sure there's going to be more levels, totally more levels. But I've gone to another level of zero suffering. And I've been working on practicing releasing the fears from all my body, because the world, if you look at it, seems fearful, and everything makes you just insecure about life, right? So that's why you have to force yourself to find security and to find safety within, and therefore it produces without. And the world is a little like this. Your life will be like this. The world is chaotic. But in the world, you'll look at and you'll go, there's paradise. There's people like on an island somewhere, somewhere in Tahiti, drinking pina coladas, just like blissed out, just not a care in the world. But they're in paradise, and yet the rest of the world can be in turmoil. Well, you see, you can be that person. You can be that person in the island of bliss. And the more of us go and create that and use that, create that energetically, create that vision, attract all of that, the bigger the paradise we create. That's really how that works, because that's how black magic is done. If you want to hurt someone, you just go do all the creations on the negative, but we're doing the opposite. And then there are, I was talking about black magic. Well, things like being baptized is black magic on you to be very, to struggle and to sacrifice yourself, because you are coded to follow Jesus. and he lived a life of poverty. So there's all these, underlying belief systems and codes that you have in you to make sure that you're disempowered and you struggle. And if you lack self-worth, you'll say, well, when I give or when I struggle, then I'm proving myself to be worthy because I'm sort of like Christ. And even if you're not religious, it doesn't matter. There's still this, it's underlying, you can't see it, but it's there. It's almost like it's invisible. You're saying, I can't see this, but it's there no matter what you do. So there's a lot of rituals you need to take off yourself. You can have implants. I mean, the whole money system and the whole way it's set up is full of black magic and encoding to like keep you programmed and part of this slave system that you feel that you're in. You get up, you go to work, it's drudgery, you pay the bills, you feel stressed, you got the mortgage or whatever it is. It's designed so that you lose your power and then you do anything for money. And a lot of people are so desperate for money, they will do anything because they need to feed their kids or feed themselves or they need to house themselves. And so that's where, if you knew how it was done and if you saw how it's kind of a game, and if you can get yourself off the game and looking down and going, oh, now I see the game. Now I see all the pieces. Now I understand all the moves and how it's all done and how we're all manipulated. And once I understand the game and I understand the rules, I can get off it. I understand how. So I understand how I put myself there, or they put me there. We actually put each other there. We teach each other, code each other, condition each other, program, hurt, all of that. We do it to each other because no one could control the planet, could they? So we're trained to be so coded, and it's very complex, so that it's not many people exit the matrix that easily. But a lot of people are attempting, they're doing it, they're freeing, they've overcome. Well, getting off the matrix is when you just go, well, I have no fear. I'm a creator. I am an attractor of my life, and the universe supports me. It shows me that day after day. I love myself. With all that emotion, with all that energy, that's just how your life goes. And I realized this in my own life when I saw amazing things happen to me, and I wasn't even conscious that I was creating like amazing opportunities, and they just turned up out of nowhere. And I've had many of them. I'm just meeting people, or even meeting, my soulmate once back when I was. None of them really lasted because I saw myself pull myself back on the matrix, or I had to overcome my abuse, and I realized I really have to overcome what most people go through, so then I will create something to undo it. So I thought, all of this just happened to me unconsciously. What if I was conscious, but I pulled apart all these incredible opportunities and experiences that came up in my life, and I thought, what precipitated it? What was the state I was in? What were all the things that led to that? And it came down to really energy and cleansing my energy and shifting my energy. There was all of them, even meeting Oprah, there was and everything was energetic before, something amazing happened. And I thought, yeah, it's all in the energy. And I took risk. I took a risk, and all my opportunities, I think I pretty much, yeah. And even there were times when I was also desperate, like in the middle of Greece, and I had no money, and all these, I was going to sleep on the beach by myself, which was going to be the worst night of my life. And I bumped into some Australians that I met on the bus. And so I slept with them. That was, it's like out of the blue. I'm in this island on Crete. I know nobody. And then happened to have met two girls on a bus, I don't know, days before, who knows. And I bump into them on the beach. Now, I have had plenty of times like that. My butt's been saved, and plenty of amazing times. So I've looked at the science, and I've realized it is all about energy. And if you get that your life is run on energy, and the energy that's in you is what you now have, and if you've actually started to change stuff, you've invested in yourself and you've been conscious and focused, you've noticed it change, and it gets better and better. We have plenty of FHs that, because forensic healing is based on, let's look in your energy field, let's see what you've done, let's see how you're programmed in childhood, and let's shift it, let's get it out energetically, plus also you do your work and you get really big transformations. So most people agree with that, and if you can get that, being more financially abundant is shifting energy and looking at yourself, then you will understand, the processes that we do. Okay, so I'll just wrap it up now. So to move, and I have given you a lot of clues, it's if you can be conscious of every thought, if you pull apart your life, if you take a look at yourself every second and decide to think differently, behave differently, overcome, also if you've got pain and suffering in your body, that needs to be overcome, because that supersedes everything. If you're suffering from childhood of abuse, that overshadows an ability to really catapult you past into focusing your thoughts. So that's a big one. Heal yourself. You definitely need to heal the past, get the pain out. You've got to get stuff out. And that's why I wrote, the book Freeing the Unloved Girl. It was a process for people to progress, because childhood, trauma, conditioning, that is what you're overcoming, by the way. Because listen to this. What if you got up every morning and your mum and dad said to you, you're the most precious, precious soul on the planet. You can be, do, and have whatever you wish. You can create. You can be abundant as the sky. You deserve everything. You are so amazing. It's so amazing. The world needs to see you shine bright. You are my love of my life. You are beautiful. I can't express the amount of joy you bring to everybody, and you need to make sure that you know how amazing you are. Imagine if you were told that every single day. You'd grow up going, I'm amazing. Now, I've met people like that, and they have no question the universe will supply them. They have no question of their self-worth, only because they're programmed. So that's the key. Reprogram everything that was negative. So, yes, pay attention to your childhood, and then you'll see your adulthood. So this is why I'm giving you this little presentation, to also let you know, if you feel inclined, I have a 30-day abundant Facebook workshop for women, so that for 30 days we're going to reprogram, reboot, reset, and shift the energy, release, go through. You'll get a personal reading from me to tell you exactly where your blocks occurred in childhood and what pattern that was. I'll do each person. And as a group, when you have an energy of a group that all wants the same thing, it pushes you forward. And we all have the same guidelines. We're all like, I'll teach you all the rules and apply the rules. And the energy's amplified to help you. And if you do it for 30 days, it will transform you, because it's not one day, it's not two, it's 30 days. Plus, I'm going to keep it in a course, so you can do that course again, have it for free, and do it the next month and the next month. And you are investing in your energy field, and you are reminding yourself. So I don't know if you're anything like me and feel like you want to change your life. Well, that's the kind of thing that I do. I go, I'm going to invest in my life and my energy. So that's my offer. So there'll be a link to, and there's a special, it's on for another week, $67 instead of 97 Australian. So that's really cool for anybody from US. So it's a global thing. So for women, you can join me, and we are going to shift, get in the cells, get down and dirty, and remove this lack, scarcity, unworthiness, not value, it's sitting in our energy field, which reflects your financial state, and to get the universe working for you. Like, it's ready to work. It's working for you right now. It's just not working because you're not working properly yourself. So thank you for listening, and we've already got the group going at the moment. They're already sitting in the group waiting to take off on 1st of January. I welcome you, and I'll look forward to starting on 1st of January to shift and to transform and to free ourselves. Take care.